This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined by Kalle in Miami today.
He's even wearing red in Miami. I was expecting Fred to be wearing, like, I don't know, hot pink or hot turquoise, but he's stuck with the red. I've got to say, a man who's true to his word.
The air conditioning is very good in this room. Otherwise, I wouldn't be wearing a red sweatshirt. But you're dressed very nicely, as per usual.
Much, yeah, I've gone for a bit of a safari sort of Latino look today. I'm missing the gold chain.
Do you have a stylist?
Mams is going to bring the gold chain. Mams is my stylist. I called Mams. I've got a video call from the room. I say, "But Mams, is this good? Does this look good?" You know, he's the younger. He's got the younger flair. You know, I'm a bit old school, so I've got. You know, I'm trying to. My son's pretty good at it as well.
Your son's dressed very nicely.
Yeah,
good shoes to be sure. But yeah, it's a good press conference today. I thought it bit of beef between the two girls. There was the fights where it wasn't as hyped up. It's now hyped up.
They didn't stop, did they?
No.
They didn't stop because the first they went at each other, then they got the question, and it they clearly have got. I didn't realise they had a history together.
No, you did.
So they were sort of friends. She said she lent her clothes and things like this. You know.
And you're a big fan of Leah Gotti as well. You couldn't stop talking about her off camera.
Yes, no, she's a right character, and I'm looking forward to see if she can back it up. You know, I'm a big fan.
Certainly. It's good when you've got like the female fights as well, which is good that Misfits does it. But something else you're introducing is Misfits Pro. This is very, very new. And new and exciting news.
Well, we have got two, and this is an area I can talk with some a little bit of knowledge about. Two super exciting pros. I'd say I've mainly signed European fighters in my career. So these will be the two most exciting US signings. Steve Cunningham, if you're listening, I apologise, former unified cruiserweight world champion from the US who I had. But these are young guys. And you asked a very good question, Fred. I've got to say, one of your best questions. I think someone gave it to you.
No, actually no one did.
That's a good question. What are you going to do with them? The first thing you do with a young fighter is keep them active. You keep them active. You feed them tall opponents, short opponents, slow opponents, fast opponents, punching opponents, boxer opponents. Because when you eventually get to title shots, you can't choose who they are. So when you get in a mandatory position, you get a call, you get that opportunity, you need to be prepared. And activity, different types of opponents, travel, you know. I've taken fighters to Russia, to Asia, to Japan, to Africa, all over the world. You don't know where that title shot's coming, especially at the moment. Boxing is, traditional boxing is in a very exciting place. We've seen, you know, obviously the Saudis coming in very strong in the sport. Big show in America last weekend. There's one coming up at Wembley. There's obviously the stuff going in Saudi. So the sport is travelling. So as a young fighter, you want that experience of travel. You don't want to be just fighting in your own country. You get that title shot and you never box abroad. So very, very exciting.
Certainly. It is true. You do notice sometimes where the fighter has to go all the way to Russia to fight for a world title. It's the first time he's boxing. I don't know, you don't, but that's why it's good that you box him all around Europe and all around America before that.
They won't be going to Russia at the moment, but there's other places that...
Oh yeah, Russia's for the worst. You couldn't think of like a worse country to pick right now. Yeah. Here in Miami though, this is your first time in Miami?
My first time this year in Miami, yes. Yes.
The first time this month in Miami.
Yeah, exactly. First time this week in Miami. This is a great city. I promoted a lot of shows just up the road in Fort Lauderdale in the Hard Rock Arena. It's a great fight state. A lot of MMA here as well. It's a new place. We've been this year where we've been Houston, Nashville in the States, Leeds and obviously London in the UK. Dublin coming up, trying to take you around the world. I know. We're leading to this question of world tour, aren't we again? But you're happy with Miami, aren't you?
Miami, yeah. I've never been here before.
No, it's not Ibiza, but I think Miami's a bit more international for you.
Yeah, I do like it.
I'm just trying to keep you happy, Fred.
No, I enjoy Miami very much. One thing that hasn't been pointed out enough is the fact that for most boxing...
I'm just waiting for this now. Go on.
No, it's a different question. For most people, boxing fans, when a show is in the US, it's a 4 a.m. wake up. But this show will be starting about 2 p.m. Miami time, which means that's about 6 o'clock in the evening for the UK fans.
We're trying to make it, like you saw today, the press conference. So that went out 8 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. Central Europe. We're trying to make it as
accessible as possible.
I mean, you know, the zone app is a wonderful thing. You can watch it anywhere. You can watch it in the car. You can watch it in your classroom, but there's no school at the moment. You can watch it anywhere. And the fact that it's so accessible, we need to be at time zones where we know we're picking up the biggest audiences. We've got fantastic numbers. I said earlier this year, we actually smashed our own record with the Troxy show in London with Salt Pappy. Very close with the Elle Brooks show as well, Paige Van Zandt. So the numbers are on these regular events, non-pay-per-view events, are absolutely fantastic.
Certainly. Yeah, very, very positive numbers for sure. It's a shame you can't put the numbers out officially because behind the scenes, the rumours that are going around are very, very positive to say the least. The Dublin shows had a lot of pullouts, classic kind of pro boxing where the fighter can't make it. It's been frustrating, but you guys are pushing on as per usual.
It is, but let me tell you something. We've been around now for 2 years. We've done 16 events. This will be our 17th event in Dublin in 2 years. We have not cancelled a single show. I'm telling you now, that doesn't exist in boxing. That is second to none. It's unheard of that you don't go through a year without having to cancel a show. Simple as that. We've seen cancellations, big name cancellations. Talked about obviously Tyson Fury, the fight getting pushed back in traditional boxing. It's just part of the sport, and the fact that, and it was a valid question you asked, KSI singing, but what a great way to engage fans when you're able to, oh no, I can't box now because I'm injured, which again happens at all levels of the sport. But he can also put on number one hit records and sing them. Yeah, records is very old school. I'm aware.
Songs.
But JJ's a man of many talents, and I think it's a great gesture as well to the fans, and very excited for Dublin still.
And you barely had any. Obviously, you gave the fans options to refund the tickets, but
Yes.
There barely any refunds whatsoever.
Almost none. Almost none. In fact, we sold over the weekend more tickets than were given back. So we probably will have some. Watch this space, because we're obviously changing the setup of the venue now. We had seat holds, which we'll probably be able to get put back in. Not many, but probably around 500 tickets that we can put back in, probably next week. So we'll be there, and I'm sure those will be very hot tickets as well.
And certainly another big star. I always like when you have new stars fighting for the first time in Misfits. It's very refreshing, and it's also exciting to come back on. HS Tikkytokky.
We've got to be talking about HS Tikkytokky. I am so excited. Honestly, I'm not a little kid right now.
Yeah.
It's the first. It's got to be the most excited I've been for any name to box on Misfits. This guy
It's hilarious.
He's not only super hysterical, but man, he can fight as well. He is honestly one of the funniest guys for me on social media. I mean, not everyone's taste. I get that, but that's also key. In boxing, you want to divide, but you want to have a reaction. Now, I can't think of anyone else who divides more than HS. So that's sorry, but for a promoter, that's like the caviar, right? And this guy is gonna absolutely shake up this space. Massive star for the future for us.
And we'll see HS box. We'll see him box in Dublin, and then hopefully one more time this year as well.
Well, it's a first fight. We don't know in this space. You don't know much about the opponent. He's a Love Islander. We will see. Super excited about Danny Aarons as well.
Another guy coming on for the first time ever.
Also, Danny Simpson. Also,
Are you a fan of Danny Simpson as well? Back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, no, unfortunately not. I'm a Tottenham fan, and he won the bloody league in the season that we probably should have won the league.
Wow,
for the
so you
first
really
time.
are rooting for Danny then?
So
Danny
I'm
Aarons.
definitely Danny Aarons on that night. No, I'm joking. Misfits, so you want to see entertainment. I'm delighted to have 3 massive new names, all in very different sort of spaces as well.
Bringing all the different audiences into the screen as well.
Good to have Dean the Great back as well, boxing a local, which is going to be interesting.
Conor McGregor's cameraman, which means Conor McGregor might show up, you never know.
Yeah, well, with Conor, I'm not going to play the old, Conor McGregor's coming. You just don't know, do you? But we are in his town, so it's a good chance. Mams has put together a banging card. Credit to Mams. Hasn't been the poor guy. It's been a very stressful summer. Pull-outs, this, that, and the other. And he's done a fantastic job. A fantastic job.
Certainly. Credit to Mams. He doesn't stop on the phone 24/7, working extremely hard.
I look more at the comments and whatever, and he takes a lot of them to heart. And I always say, man, the shit I've had talked about me in my career, do not worry about it, right? And I
always say every promoter has this sort of thing, you know.
Of course. So look,
like speak to Eddie Hearn, speak to Frank Warren probably doesn't read the comments, but Eddie Hearn will read everything.
Eddie put on Joshua versus Klitschko at Wembley Stadium, fantastic fight. And does an interview in the ring and gets booed. It's part of our game. We are always the bad guys. That's fine. But the hours Mams Taylor puts into this job is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. He lives and breathes it. And, only that way, by the way, has it been possible that we haven't cancelled a show.
Well, without Mams Taylor, none of this is possible.
No. It would, like, this week, 3 days' notice, he pulls AT out the bag. I said, impossible, right? He said, trust me. And look at AT. He's in phenomenal shape. I mean, he's lost weight. He's in great nick. But Mams is just like, you only get that, you only find those solutions if you're that passionate about it.
Yeah, so shout out to Mams. He doesn't really get the credit he deserves, so hopefully we'll see some in the future. But just one last thing before we kind of...
You won't, but we can hope. You won't.
Because the promoters are always they're always made to be looked by the bad guys, you know?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But anything else coming for yourself, Kalle, in the next few weeks before Dublin?
What am I doing the next few weeks? Working. I'm off to LA for some meetings straight after here, and then I'm... Are
you going to be in your office once? I always try and contact Phil and say, is Kalle there? And it feels like he's away again. And I know it's very difficult, everyone.
One day in the office. I've literally just been travelling. Literally just travelling. So obviously Euros in the middle of it as well. I did have to spend a bit of time in Germany. But, yeah.
Did you actually go to the games?
Yeah, I did. I went to the games, and yeah, it didn't end well. But we did sort of get what we deserved in the final. But I don't want to talk about.
It's a very touchy subject for every Englishman's heart.
Again, so I could get miserable with Tottenham again. So all good.
All good. Awesome, Kalle. I'll see you Saturday.
Thanks, Fred.